A lot of news to cover. We're just going straight into it. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the contract extension of Taylor Decker. What does the contract look like? What does it mean for the Lions cap? Brad Holmes talks about Alim McNeill potentially getting a contract extension. What did he say? What does it mean? We're going to get into Lions training camp observations. This was finally with pads on, and we're specifically going to target the defensive and offensive line. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. And here's the tweet from Adam Shefter. A new deal in Detroit. Lions left tackle Taylor Decker reached an agreement on 3 years, $60 million extension. Per sources, Decker was entering the last year of a deal scheduled to pay him $13.7 million. He's now under contract through 2027. The deal is reportedly worth 3 years for $60 million, with nearly $32 million guaranteed, according to his agent. What does it look like right now under Spot Rack? Here it is. The contract terms, the 3-year. Average salary, at least for this year, is $19.1 million. That is a 7.48 cap for this up-and-coming season. Now you look at the Detroit Lions offensive line. Our bookends is good. Taylor Decker here, extended. Penei Sewell here, extended. Frank Ragnow, we know he's going to be here. The Lions offensive line has the continuity, something that we have been waiting for some time. When you look at the contract all in all, I think that is a perfect contract for Taylor Decker. It's just in the top 10, I think 8 right now in the NFL. I love the deal. I'm very happy the deal got done. The Detroit Lions have been balling in these contracts. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, already done. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, this regime is getting the work done to please these players. Question for you, grade this contract extension. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to talk about contract extensions because Brad Holmes was being interviewed for 97 won the ticket for another player here. He's another one talking about Alim McNeill. I have talked about he's part of the foundation. Holmes said he was part of our first draft. And again, we've gotten Penei Sewell done. We've gotten Amon-Ra St. Brown done. And there's plenty of other guys, the draft class, that have played key roles. But Alim McNeill, the way that he has developed his game, he does everything right. He's a total pro and he's extremely talented. So he's another one that it's about time. So we'll get the talk starting, going at some point, and hopefully get something done. Alim McNeill, what did you do last year? And what type of contract do you think he's going to get? 17 solo tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 0 interception. He's only 24 years old. In round 3, we look at the top 10 contracts in the NFL. Chris Jones leads the way with $31.75 million, then 27.5, 24, 24, 24, 23.5, 22, 21, 21, and 20.75. So when I look at what he did in production, what the other contracts for other defensive tackles, this is what I came up for, just a rough estimate of potentially what it could be. We're talking a 4-year deal of $95 million, 23 average salary a year, 21 signing bonus, and that would put him in there the range of 8 to 7 for defensive linemen of contracts. And I think that's probably where it would be for the Detroit Lions in trying to get the deal done. And right now we look at the Detroit Lions cap space. They still have a lot of cap after getting the Taylor Decker contract done. Right now the total amount in the NFL is $254 million. The Lions, after the Taylor Decker contract being done, is 5th in the NFL with $33.89 million. They're still great with cap space and a dead cap hit of $29.44 million. So what does this mean to me? Well, the Detroit Lions got the cap space right now if they wanted to get the Alim McNeill contract done. They do have the cap to get it done. With that said, remember, this roster is still being moved around. We got $33 million, and I do believe that the Detroit Lions are going to save some of this money for obviously right now in training camp, but most importantly, the NFL trade deadline. The Lions would have some money saved if they would like to get a deal done. Still, say if the Alim McNeill was to get done right now and they was $21 million cap hit, the Lions still got money saved for the trade deadline. So far, when it comes to the extensions of this offseason and Brad Holmes, this regime, they are the most fiscally responsible leadership that we have ever had on this football team. They have gotten deals done with 4 major players, cornerstone players. Could be 5. They got the money to do it. And they still are 5th best right now in cap space in the NFL after locking all these players up. And by the way, a lot of the players in this team are young, so the Lions are been extremely fiscally responsible in setting up this franchise to be really good for some time. Super excited to see how this operates. The Lions have done it correctly. And when I look at all the moves that they have made this offseason, I got to give it an A+ in my opinion. But question for you, do you believe that Alim McNeill will get a contract done before the start of the regular season of Week 1? Y for yes and N for no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I'm going to give you some thoughts about saving some money because I love to go to football games if I can, and I don't want to pay high tickets. I want to save money, and I want to make the transaction easy to do some. That's why you need to get Game Time. They have killer deals, last-minute tickets, and lowest prices guaranteed, and you can stop stressing and start getting hyped for the fun that you're going to have. It is easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event, whether that's sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. The lowest price is guaranteed. That is the Game Time guaranteed, which means you're always going to get the best prices. And if you find tickets in the same area section or less, Game Time is going to credit you 110% of the difference. You can get exclusive flash deals for tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. And if you look in the middle screenshot, by the way, I absolutely think it's a great feature for this app. You move your phone left to right, and you can see the surrounding area like a 3D live photo. All you got to do is download Game Time, plug in Chat Sports, and you're going to get $20 off your very first purchase. Specifically, go to the redeem code section, plug in Chat Sports to get $20 off your first purchase. The link and information is going to be in the description and comment section of this video. So if you're buying Lions this year, make sure you are using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets and lowest prices guaranteed. Let's go ahead and continue here and talking about the camp battles that's taking place, because today's first day was pads. A lot of look at the defensive line. Jeff Risdon from Lions Royce Books is separated off the pack because he wanted to watch the lines. He wanted to watch the skill. We haven't seen that really yet. Starting with the double team and block and run defense, the Lions then had offensive, defensive linemen on the field. As expected, the brightest stars, Frank Ragnow, dominated both reps. He took pass protection, completely nullified Broderick Martin. And Marcus Davenport was easy on the rep, over there quickly, and I couldn't catch the defender, he said on this one. He did some notes here talking about some of the players, and a lot of good notes, at least, that I've seen from this. You know, one of the standouts here for the Detroit Lions here is getting this defensive line and seeing who's doing good or bad. And as you want to see who is on that side. And Joshua Pascal, he continues to struggle in these short drills. He's not big on the pass rush. Pascal is more of the work rate in conjunction with others. He just isn't creative an individual pass rusher. This is really difficult because we did spend a second-round pick on Joshua Pascal, and so far he's being smoked by Dan Skipper. And more importantly, though, at least Levi Muzurike is getting some leverage to potentially get a sack. Colby Sorsdale was the top reserve offensive tackle. He did have an after-rusher loss rep against Aiden Hutchinson, but that's Hutchinson over the 2 reps. His footwork and hand placement were polished, and he did better than he was a year ago. Lomas Brown, Lions great notice. He mentioned to Jeff, says Sorsdale OCs, that the gap between him and below Dan Skipper is not much. So, Penei Sewell dominated as we would expect, and same with Alim McNeill. Totally expected. Another standout here was Mr. Muti. He thrived to pads on. He had interior offensive lineman, the most consistent surge in the run blocking drill. Muti leveraged shoulder strength, very impulsive. Muti showed his ability to handle his business in pass protection by stemming Alim McNeill in the pass rush. Great. Muti did great job staying square, and Alim McNeill surged into the left side. Muti's quick feet helped development and impressed Lomas Brown, who we just spoke about a little bit ago. So when I look all in all just right now, I think that there's some consistency here, inconsistent with Joshua Pascal. We want to see more from him, and we haven't, and that freaking sucks. That's the one guy I'm keeping an eye on. But good for Colby Sorsdale. Good work for Alim McNeill. And, of course, Muti and Levi Onwuzurike. Folks, go ahead and smash that like button right now. It's extremely important you do it. Let's get to 300 likes in this video. I think you can get it done for sure. Let's go ahead and get into some other notes here. And Jamison Williams, he got loud cheers again, and he continues to impress on the field. Now, this is every single practice. He has been one of the biggest ones who's making a noise, and it is consistent. He's going to be a breakout star, in my opinion. Malcolm Rodriguez had a nice play. Very good for him. He's just going to be a backup. There's nothing really more really said about that. Sam Laporta and Brock Wright are moving a lot. They continue to dominate in the middle of the field. Brock Wright is absolutely your tight end, too. And they kept Derek Barnes and James Houston on the field for the Sam role. Brian Branch played well at safety. Rackestraw continues to rep with the third team. I keep telling you that he's more developmental player. CJ Moore not getting any defensive reps, strictly on special teams. He's a special teams player, and he'll be a DB back just as a safety for. There was no really kicking. Can't operate how that worked there. All in all, a pretty good day for the Lions in observations there. So I'm really proud to see this team continue to show some standouts in getting the job done on the field. Still a little bit concerns for this defense, and same with third team reps for John Kaminsky, as that is consistent. Now, he's going to be a player that may get cut as he has continued to be repping with the third string. But we'll see how Joshua Pascal pans out going forward. Hopefully, he is a guy that we can rely on. In the upcoming videos, you want to go ahead and hit that sub button so you don't miss out on the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors. With that said, folks, adios.